Hey guys, welcome back to Play on Footy. It's been a while. Today we're looking at the Fremantle Dockers, just because I was dumbfounded at how poor they were on the weekend. So let's have a look. Flat track bullies, the damning stats that show Freo's away woes. Look, to me, I feel like blaming a team's performance on their track record away is probably an easy cop out. And this really has stemmed personally for me from their inability as a club to come together in crucial points of not only this season but in the past. Um, Round eight's loss to St Kilda has basically cemented in my mind that the Fremantle's culture on the surface, it doesn't seem to appear, not only, it just doesn't seem to appear to be heading in the right direction totally. Now, from my perspective, they had a very good, strong preseason. They all looked fit. They were doing hill climbs at Kings Park, and they all looked jacked and fit. Look, Sean Darcy's always going to be Sean Darcy. He's had his battles in the preseason, and I think it really did stem from the ruck duo of Luke Jackson and Sean Darcy. That's where their cracks in their game style appeared. On top of that, their defensive pressure was really non-existent. I think they were ranked ninth, or not even that. I think it was 10th out of the whole league. From last season, and that was it was an area where Freo really needed to improve, and I feel like the way that Freo have played thus far um, has been really poor defensively. Their attack on the footy has been, I guess, fragile to say the least. They've got a fragility about them, Fremantle. It's almost like they haven't really grown into the game style that JL, Justin Longmire, wants to sort of execute. And I could imagine it'd be very frustrating for JL, but from a viewer, from a neutral viewer like myself, I have no affiliation with Fremantle Dockers. I'm an Eagles supporter, so obviously I know what it's been a tough 3 years for the Eagles, and to see Fremantle really at the peak, like they've got a list that arguably is it's up there. It's not a poor list. You can't blame the list. They got Tracy, they got Sarong, they got Brayshaw, they got Jackson, they've just recruited Shea Bolton, like they got who they got down the back. They got Pierce, who's been okay. Um, they've got Jordan Clark, who's been okay. It's just one of those things where I feel like the Dockers, and the funny thing was Simon Garlick before the game, the Fremantle CEO basically backed in Justin Longmire just to add to the embarrassment that was this display. And, Ross Lyon, I reckon, has got a chip on his shoulder towards his old club, which is Fremantle Dockers. I think the way that Ross Lyon exited Fremantle, he probably wasn't too happy about. And, he's really dug the knife deep into the hearts of the Freo supporters and the Freo cohort, players, everything. It was just embarrassing. And there's JL there, looks dejected. And look, Talkback Radio after this game was, to put it bluntly, they wanted JL's head. They wanted him gone from the football club. They wanted him out. And, it's just one of those things where both Doe teams are struggling right now. Eagles more so than the Dockers. But this performance was absolutely just, I think it was alarm bell. I think this is a red flag. This is not a white flag. This is not them giving up, but it's a red flag. Um, and here's a little graph here. So you got disposals at Optus Stadium plus 17. All other venues negative 39. Contested possessions plus 2.8. Negative 15.8. Clearances 2.0. Negative 5.3 at all the other venues. And pressure rating plus 1. All other venues negative 12. I mean, it's pretty black and white with this, isn't it? Inside 50 differential plus 6.0, All other venues, negative 4.3. Oppo back half to inside 50%, 28% Optus Stadium, 34% other every other venue. I mean, it's just it's blinding. It's really conclusive that you know the message from JL and the coaching staff to the players is void, and their track record hasn't been anything too impressive. The Dockers themselves showed in 2022 what they are capable of on the road, losing just twice on their way to a breakthrough finals win against the Western Bulldogs. From that moment, success has felt like it was just around the corner, with arguably the most talented group the club has assembled in 30 years. That was more than 2 years ago now, though, and the corner will only be turned if Longmire and the Dockers can fix the team's issues on the road and, by extension, their consistency. I mean, that is just damning. And I know you can't just pin it on one performance, but to me, from the outlook, that is a very worrying sign for the Dockers. Where to from here? What can they do? Well, if we go to their next set of matches, so let's go the fixture. So they've got the Pies on Thursday night, and this one's at Optus Stadium, home crowd, home team, $2.49 to $1.54. Collingwood just coming off an emphatic. Well, they just lost really to by 3 points, um, which was a really close game to the Cats. Fremantle, look, Fremantle, one of those teams. It's like a roller coaster team. It is, and they've been up and down throughout this season. What are we in round 8? Last round. Now we're in round 9. Fremantle really need something, and I think it's going to be stemming from the fact that from that graph that we just showed you back there, it's got to come from the home ground advantage, which is their supporter base, and their supporters have been really with them the whole way through. But what I'm really wanting from Dockers is accountability. I'm wanting hunger around the football. I want them to execute not only from the stoppage, but from sort of the D50 going through the middle and really linking up. Fremantle on the weekend against St Kilda, they were just so timid. They weren't pulling the trigger. There was a ball between two blokes and none of them were going for it. There was just a lot of hesitancy, and I wanted to make this video. I didn't want to do a round review because I've been a little bit slack, and I do apologize for that, guys. But I wanted to make this video on Fremantle because I think they just need to be called out a little bit. And no doubt the media and the AFL are going to be going at them this week. But I'm a neutral supporter. I don't really go for Fremantle Dockers, but I do want them to actually have a crack. And I think that's what all their supporters want, is just to have a crack Fremantle. And I felt like getting on here and doing a video about it just so there's a bit of a talking point. And if you are a Freo supporter, definitely drop a comment below. If you're not a Freo supporter, drop a comment as well. If you're a Collingwood supporter, give me your thoughts on what's going to happen this coming round in round 9. We're getting closer to the buys. But yeah, I just wanted to see what you guys were thinking on here. What do you guys think of Fremantle? What do you guys think of the upcoming game? Comment below, and I will definitely see you guys in the next one. Cheers.